welcome back to another book review. It's been a minute since we've done one, and today we're doing Earth to Moon, a memoir by Moon Unit Zappa. Now, actually, I bought this book the day it came out, and I started it when it came out, and I kind of set it down within the month, not intentionally, so kind of forgot about it till like the past month was like, oh yeah, I should finish that. So I did, and I zipped through it, like, no problem. So, for anyone who's unaware, Moon Unit Zappa is the daughter of Frank Zappa. Shocker. But, firstborn and all that, which I can relate. I'm the eldest daughter in my family, too. And I always liked Moon Unit, so... and that was without even knowing she was an eldest daughter. But anyway, this is an eye-opening look into just how much, like, what you assume celebrity upbringing, like the children of, looks like, does not always hold true by like any means. Because in this one, I mean, it's already like a stark difference from how things usually go. When, like, within the first few pages, she refers to her parents as Frank and Gail, and apparently never was one to call them mom or dad. Like, they just called their parents by their names. I guess I never really thought of Frank Zappa and his wife as being hippies, but I guess they kind of were. I guess they kind of were, really. Which shouldn't be that big a shocker to me, but here we are. So, there's a lot of predictable woo-woo stuff from Moon Unit's mom, Gail. I'm kind of both shocked and not at the same time by how absent Frank was. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, it kind of fits the whole stereotype of what I think I always figured he was like. But on the other hand, there's some ballsy stuff in here, like how he'd bring home a groupie from New Zealand for like 3 months to come live with him in the basement. And just expect his wife to be cool with that. Like, bro, what? Like... Okay. And, like, Gail's whole thing, like, weird internalized misogyny. No, I do not mean misandry. I mean misogyny. By putting both Frank and her sons on this pedestal, and the women were treated as though they deserved less than. Which is bullshit, obviously, but, like, it's just weird that it's a woman imposing that. But here we are, right? But, there is just a lot of stuff in here that just absolutely breaks your heart, hearing how bad it actually was. I mean, it's not to say that everything all of the time was bad always, but it was definitely a very chaotic upbringing, which, I mean, again, is anyone surprised by that? No, but the extent of it, the sheer extent of it is staggering. I'm like, dang, and I mean, I kind of, in a much smaller capacity, have lived that. I do understand that. It's not lost on me, but this is that on steroids, big time. I was like, holy shit. Moon has a very unique style of writing that her storytelling comes in like short bursts of things from here, and a little bit from here, and a little bit from here, which, I mean, I get why it's written that way to keep people's interest, but it's also a bit ADD. So for somebody who actually has that, reading that, on one hand, it appeals. On the other hand, you cover a lot of ground really quickly with this writing style, which means I could only at best read maybe a few chapters at a time without needing to set it down and just process everything I just took in. Because it's a lot. Like, start to finish, it's a lot. I'm not saying that in any kind of a bad way, I'm not. I'm just making an observation where it's like, oh. I mean, there's a lot of funny anecdotes, but there's a lot of heartbreaking ones. I mean, I was literally sitting here ugly crying when it got to the part about Frank dying. Like, the way that was written just ripped my heart out, threw it on the floor, stomped all over it. Same when she's talking about the near-death experience with her daughter. Same deal. But there's just like a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that you had no idea that this poor woman went through. The fact that she actually made it out relatively pretty well intact and still able to stand on her own 2 feet, still able to make a name for herself that doesn't have to ride her parents' coattails. There's a lot to be said for that. Granted, she got absolutely hosed in the will from both parents. Wasn't Frank's intention, just worked out that way. Read the book, you'll find out. But even getting screwed over by her own younger siblings, like, dude, that's low. And yet, the scary thing is, the older I get, the more stories like that I hear. It scares me to death. Um, anyway, but I mean, don't let me deter you. Like, it's actually a very, very, very good, very powerful book. Like, the way this memoir is written, like, the first thing I did when I finished it was, like, went and followed her on social media everywhere. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, on some bizarre level, I feel like there's some type of kindred spirits thing where I was like, I don't know the last time, if ever, that I've connected that way with a memoir. So I'm thoroughly impressed on every level. Just hearing every different step of her story, although I have to make the observation, though, that, like, the latter half of it, once her parents are gone, it's like, most of it, about the first 70%, is mostly about her life with her parents. The last 30% is, like, the rest of her life after that, till now. It's just like, hold on, it's loud over there. Okay, train of thought was that the first 70% is her life with Frank and Gail. The last 30% is everything after that, which feels kind of like it's diminishing everything her life's been after that, even though I'm sure she's done plenty of things since then that are also very interesting. I personally would have liked hearing about. Maybe there will be a part 2 one day. I don't know. But I mean, there's a lot of emphasis on self-discovery, on connecting the dots of just figuring out what all she had lived through, trying to figure out why Gail ticked the way she did, sometimes Frank too, for that matter. But anyway, so there's a lot of that goes down. And it slowly starts to make more sense the further in the book goes, and by the end of it, you feel like you've got a fairly good grasp on the whole picture, even though, I mean, obviously there's always something left to be desired to, like, figure out still. Like, nobody ever has everything 100% of the way figured out, but I mean, as much as one reasonably can. You know, I think Moon's probably way more down to earth than most would have been coming out of that situation, and that's pretty impressive, all things considered. But again, that her book and her story are incredible. I'd give it like a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm not trying to be catty, I'm not trying to be bitchy, only because it took me so long to work through because of the having to put it down every few chapters because of the writing style. But it's both a feature and a flaw, because it does make it easier to just pick up at any random thing, just read a little bit, and boom. Because if you only want to read a chapter, it's only a few pages for that chapter. It's like I said, it's both a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. It's the only thing I dock it down for. But if she writes more, I would happily read that. Apparently she wrote a fiction novel back in 2001 that I'm going to try and track down as well, because, man... the same mind that put this out. I want to read more from her. But anyway, that is it for this one. So as usual, you know what to do. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload. Leave comments down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my eBay, my Reddit, everything and more. It's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Get your name on the end card for a month from the time of donating. Anyway, guys, till next time, see ya.